Welcome back, Truth and Love Nation, to our Let's Talk About It segment. And for our final one of the year 2020, I am joined with two very special people here at Truth and Love Nation, our pastors, Cobie and Miss Camilla Nesbitt. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good, Angelo. How about yourself?
I'm good, I'm
Doing
good.
good, doing
And
good.
I really appreciate you guys joining us for this segment. So, let me ask you guys, this year, the theme we went with was graced for this.
Mhm.
What's some of the things that God has graced you guys for in this year?
Wow, I can't think of a more appropriate theme that God has given us as we've been in ministry. This is our fifth year, going into year six in January, so we're
Mhm.
excited about it. And I think we talked about this a little bit on the podcast. It's all
Right.
running together
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah.
But but we talked about coming into this year without this being our fifth year of ministry. We know five is a number of grace, and Lady C was very instrumental in us nailing down this particular thought that we've been, teaching, standing on all year long, being grace for this. Man, it's just been so appropriate. I think to answer your question, being grace the pastor in the middle of a pandemic
Mhm.
and to learn and to navigate because it's been such a fluid situation.
Right.
And then not only that, all the things that has gone along, not just the pastoring aspect, but also being a husband, being a father, and all the things that's been transpiring. It's been a very difficult and trying year. But God has graced us to do whatever it is that I've been assigned or asked to do this year.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. It has definitely been a year where um, God's grace has really covered the nation, covered people. And as when Pastor and I was talking about what this theme of the year was going to be, and we said, grace for this, and it was like God was saying that we were going to go through something in the year of 2020, not knowing what we were going to
Right,
go through,
right.
Right,
but at the same time, no matter what we faced, we was graced for it.
right,
And so we was graced to overcome it. We was graced to make it through it and to make it on the other side. And so no matter what you face, you're graced for this. So keep going, keep
right,
pushing. Don't
right,
give up, keep going.
right.
And so I think that was something that was really that really hit home for me. And it was so much that has transpired in the year of 2020. COVID has hit my family personally, and taken some loved ones and taken friends, and so that so has taken people in our lives that we love dearly, and God has graced us for it, and
Right.
God has graced us to make it through some difficult times, and so God has graced just this nation to make it through some difficult times. So I think that's been this it was really befitting to say grace for this.
Amen.
Can you guys kind of speak to what were some of your expectations going from the 2020 focus sermon to then having to transition into kind of now having to fit into a situation that no one seen coming? What's kind of speak to that, the expectations, and then boom, what the reality was.
Wow. Yeah, I think that automatically, as I tell you, that each year comes with its own Uncle Mo momentum, built-in momentum, and so I'm always so excited about the brand new year. I came in today fired up, excited about standing on the threshold of a brand new year. So I'm always excited about a new year speaks to me, a new chance, new opportunity, freshness, newness. But at the same time, I've also learned not to put the cart before the horse,
Right.
not to box God into my expectations or what I'm desiring to do. Sure, there's some things that we were looking to accomplish. There's some things that we were looking to probably, fulfill when it comes to, because we're still expanding at our local ministry and growing and building and things of that nature. So there's some things that, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. But at
Right,
the same
right.
time, I've learned a few years ago, that we only move as fast. And even as we're ministering and talking now, Revelation 3:20 says that Jesus stands on the outside knocking on the door, and he's desiring to come in. So somebody's knocking on the door, but we're gonna keep rolling.
Okay,
But be
okay.
that as it be that as it may, we have expectations. We have things that we're looking to, but we've learned not to just because you live and die by your expectations. So whatever
Right,
God
right.
desires to do, that's what we're okay with. We're gonna move at the pace of God, at the flow of God, and the move of God, and we just kind of let the chips fall where they may. Just for me.
We kind of spoke to this a couple times, but you guys can speak to it again. When we talk about being graced, coming into this year, the church has been shut down, stores have been shut down, just our everyday life has changed. But through that, you've launched the Pastor's Perspective podcast, you've launched the Her Story podcast. What pushes and motivates you guys to continue to try to touch the people in a time where if you fall back, if you take a vacation, most people would say this is the time to do it. But you guys do the opposite and try to do what you can to continue to stay in front of your people, continue to motivate them. Right. What is that about? Is that a grace?
Oh yes, yes.
Kind of speak to that.
I think that first and foremost, as the point I was trying to make today, what Paul was telling Titus in those pastoral epistles, that regardless of what our position is in the body, we're called to be believers. Right. We're called to be children of God. And so regardless of my position or what I do, I'm supposed to be a child of God. So God has graced us all that when we have adversity, when we have struggle, when we have trial, to persevere, to keep on going. And especially when you are the leader, I think that we ought to model what we teach. We ought to model what we preach. And I think that, it's just a necessity to not to scale back ministry because we're in what we're in. Because guess what? We're always gonna be in something. Right. And so I think it was just so important to just keep on modeling, because regardless of the situation, we're gonna keep on doing what we need to do. And I know that every obstacle is not an obstacle; it's just an opportunity. It's just an opportunity for us to continue to do what we need to do. But then when you're married to a person like how I'm married to, and you see her modeling it every day. You see her flowing in it every day. That means that's the best part of waking up. Right, some people say Folgers in their cup, but I say Lady C, where I just see her modeling, persevering, and doing what she do, and just absolutely phenomenal. So I'm grateful for her. I'm graced to be married to her.
Right. Well, thank you, Pastor. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm graced to be married to you as well.
Is that a compliment?
So in the year of 2020, I did have high expectations, and I was expecting so much from God, and really expecting just to see God in so many different areas of my life, and wanted to plan, and I had things that I had planned, and it's just so amazing of how you can plan all you want to, but when God is going to shift something, he shifts it. He don't need permission to shift it. Right. He just come in and he would just turn your life completely around. And he really just like shut the world down in a sense, because now it's like it puts us in a position to where we look up. Because for those people who did not look up and they were going about doing it their way and going about living their own life and Xing God out, now God allowed something to hit the nation to where now the people of God has to look up.
Right.
And regardless of who you are, you have to look up. Right. And so that was something that really stuck out for me for the year of 2020 that I was not expecting. But it was just an opportunity to draw near to God. And the thing that kept us driving and kept us going in ministry and trying to touch the people and be touchable to the people and trying to pour into the people, because the people needed us.
Right, that's right.
And the people needed our voice. Right. And that was the main reason of why we do what we do, because we love what we do and God has graced us for what we do. Right. And so it's not a burden. It's not too much. We're not overwhelmed. No, this is what God has called us to, and God has given us a voice for the people of God, and that's what we're doing. We're using our voice to reach the people.
That's good. Amen.
In a year of grace, what are some of the things that people should have done? What's some of the things they should have taken advantage of in this time of separation and things slowing down? What are some of the things we should have done as people of God?
I think Lady C just kind of spoke to it, just saying that it's a time for us to draw closer to God. It's a time for us to silence all the noise, not just to binge watch on different things so we don't got nowhere to go, got nothing to do. It's a time to draw closer to God. And as she has said, and as we have spoken during these 41 weeks that we've been separated, can't come to the house of the Lord. There should have been a time that we should have just been tapping into, no matter how difficult it is, tapping
Right.
into God, spending time with Him, our worship, our word, and just
Right.
getting to a posture to where we're saying, okay, God, now you have my attention. So,
Right.
and then we're blessed for everybody that's a part of TIL Nation. You're blessed to be a part of a ministry that kind of has its hand on some technology.
Right.
We're not the best, and we're not the best and the brightest, as the former President Bush said, breast and brightest, but we do what we need to do. And so we have everything on all of our platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, our website. We over communicate. And
Right.
so those some of the things we should have been tapping into all of the digital platforms that we have, not just Truth and Love, but also Her Story and all the
Right.
things that Her Story has, the same top of the line website and things of that nature, the podcast. So we've been tapping into the resources that we have in house, and then tapping into the ultimate source, which is God.
Right. And so then the people just have to, and we just try to encourage the people to desire to be connected. It's because we can put everything out there, and we can have the website, we can have, different avenues of you to get plugged into the word, but you have to desire that connection.
Right.
And so when the people of God desire that connection, then that's when they can get their peace, and they
That's
can
right.
get, they can get their peace, and they can be able to get what it is that they need for their particular journey and for the life that God has for them.
That's right.
Whether they need strength or whether they need peace, whatever it is that they need, they have to get connected
That's
and
right.
get plugged into ministry
That's right.
in order to get what it is that they desire.
Right. That's
Because
good.
a lot of times we can say that we want things to change, and we can say we want our situation to change. We need some peace. We're consumed with fear, consumed with anxiety, consumed with depression from being in the house, and we can say all of those things, but you have to give God something to work with.
Sure.
And so we have to, it's easy to say, but we have to put some action to it.
Right.
And so putting action to it is getting plugged into ministry,
Right.
getting plugged into the word of
That's
God,
good.
getting plugged into church, getting plugged into the podcast, getting plugged in what's going on with ministry. How
Right.
can I be connected to
Right.
it so I don't lose my lifeline?
Right.
Because God is our lifeline.
That's right.
And God is our source. So, and if we want to continue living, we want to continue having that place of peace, we got to get plugged into God.
Right.
And so God is like he's our everything.
Right.
So if you want some power, you got to get plugged into power.
Right, right, exactly. That's good. And I think we mentioned this, in one of the services, and when we were talking prior to all the things we have, all the things that we have available. We can't come in your house and press play for you. We can't, we can't make you sit down and do what you need to do. So it's important for us to play our part as well.
So as we wrap up, going into 2021, do you think that God uses this time, or He expects us to use these type of times as a launching pad for what may come? Because we gonna need grace next year, even if COVID-19 is
Sure.
gone. We're gonna need grace for something.
Sure.
So do you think that God or He expects us to use this time as like a launching pad to kind of catapult us into something that's in the future?
Even this time, this moment, this space, I'm so nervous even right now, because it's reminded me of back when I used to be ministering and teaching and preaching, going to different churches. There were several times that my wife was with me that the pastor no longer asked me to come, but they asked her to come. So even at this moment, I'm asking God to grace me for 2021, that you may be asking me to step down
And
in this seats perspective. Yeah, so I'm nervous about that even at this time.
It's okay. We're good.
Okay, I'm good. I'm locked in.
It's our perspective.
Okay, I got
It's
you.
our
All right.
perspective.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
It
got
sounds
you.
like we're gonna have an episode with both of y'all.
It sound like she putting the
sound
plug
like-
in.
that's
I
what
don't know. But of course, I think that's a very beautiful question, Angelo, from a beautiful fella. We are sum total of everything that we are. Everything. My wife can speak to this. God used her so powerfully the other day to speak to me. She speaks life to me. She encourages me. I guess you can tell, I was tired and things were going on. I had, contrary to popular belief, everybody come knock on the door at the church. Pastor, I ain't wake you up, did I? You sleep? They think I'm just chilling. But I had strong a couple of days together. I was exhausted, tired, a lot of things going on. And God just used her to speak life to me. and just really talk about a lot of the things I went through in relationships with people in the kingdom, even my training at CVS and retail, and being a manager, was a stock boy, assistant manager, store manager, all of that. And she just talked about how God was using all of that for this
For
time,
today.
for this
Right,
moment, to be
exactly.
able to deal with all these different personalities and deal with all this, and the way I'm graced to be able to, for conflict resolution and all that. I learned how to do all that as a store manager. And
Right.
so the point that I'm making is that I'm a sum total of everything that I am. Everything I've been through, everything that I'm going through in 2020 is automatically preparing me. If I handle it right,
Right.
if I handle it right, if I do my due diligence and I'm passing the test, is I'm ready for 2021 or 2022 or whatever comes down the pipe, comes down the tube. We're not looking for bedlam and chaos and death, and nobody's begging for that. But whatever happens, we're gonna be ready for it because God has prepared us for it. And if we haven't mismanaged this moment and mishandled this time, mismanaged this season that we're in, we're gonna be ready for whatever comes down the pipe.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's very good. And this moment also, the year 2020 is, it was like a learning ground, and it was a moment for us to learn.
Right.
But it was our responsibility to actually learn something from it.
That's right.
So it's like God is being the teacher, like how
Yeah.
you mentioned today. God is being the teacher.
That's right.
But but it's up for you and I to actually learn and to
Right.
pick up what God is putting down.
Right. Right.
So I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Stop,
I'm
stop. He
sorry.
always bothered me. So anyway,
I don't be doing nothing. Why
yes
you
you
always acting
do.
seem like
Yes
I'm?
you do. You always bother me. But anyway, but I love you though. I love you though.
Love you as well.
It's so exciting at home. It's never a
Never
dull
dull
moment.
moment. She,
Hold up now.
Never a dull moment.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What that
So
thing when I
listen.
was?
No, listen.
No, about it. Don't
Oh
worry.
God. Oh.
No, right now.
So anyway,
Right now.
That's
so for the
that
year
special
of
move.
20, no, there is no special move.
I got you.
So listen. You know what? So for the year of see, you're making me forget the
For the year
Lord have
2020,
mercy,
for the year 2020, you were saying there was a training ground. God was teaching us, and we had to
Right,
learn.
God was teaching us, and so for the year of 2020, God was teaching us, and it was see, Deon, I can't even look at him. Okay. He's smiling, he's laughing.
Okay,
He's
I'm trying to be
laughing.
good. I'm sitting over here minding my own business. I step back and everything.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so for the year of 2020, God was allowing this moment to be a training ground for a lot of us. And in this season, we were supposed to learn something. So it's like, what did you learn from all of the chaos that you endure in the year of 2020?
That's right.
What did you learn from that? Because 2020 brought about a lot of tears.
Yeah.
It brought about a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And a lot of fear and anxiety and depression for some, and it has taken so many different lives.
Yeah.
And so the year of 2020 is a year that we would never forget.
That's right.
And I know a lot of people say that, but we will definitely never forget the year 2020.
That's right.
Because it has hit home for all of us.
Yeah.
Not just for some of us, because everybody's life was shifted in some fashion or form, some type of way.
Right.
And so, but what did we learn from that? What are we going to come out? What did we learn for the year of 2020? Because if you don't learn something from things that you've endured, things that you've encountered, you're going to remain the same. So it's like you have to learn something from it. Okay, what did I learn? What do I need to change about myself?
Yeah.
How did 2020 grow me up?
Right.
Because everybody should be a grown man and a grown woman after leaving 2020.
right.
Yes, sir.
Because 2020, it will grow you up, and it grew you up fast.
Yeah.
And so going into the next year, you still got to leave some stuff behind.
Yeah.
Because what is something that happened in 2020 that doesn't fit on your journey for 2021?
Right.
So you have to leave some things behind. And so, and a lot of people have went through so much in 2020. So some things you have to leave behind in order to go forward.
Yeah.
And so I believe that God has taught us something and has grew us up to where now we have what we need. We should be fully equipped for 2021.
That's right.
And go into it with a different mindset, with a different perspective, and having a closer relationship with God. Because 2020, it should have drawn you closer to God.
Amen.
To where now okay, going in 2021, I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm not just going to say, oh, I'm going to start going to church more. No, start getting connected. You don't have to wait to 2021 to get
That's right.
connected. You can get connected now.
That's
You
right.
don't have to wait to 2021 to change. You don't have
Right.
to wait to 2021 to go on your diet plan or whatever the case may be that people
Right.
may have in their mind. I'm going to be a better person in 2021. Why not start now?
Right.
So it's like, who's to say you're going to make it to 2021?
That's right.
So
Preaching, Pastor.
Yes, sir.
so I truly believe that we should learn something from 2020 and take that and apply it to 2021.
That's good.
And go forward.
Amen.
So
Very good.
Oh, well, I really appreciate you guys
Yes, sir.
for joining us. I know the people out at TIL Nation love to hear from you guys. We're always on tiptoe.
Anticipation.
To
He's
hear
always messing with me. He be mimicking me, talking about me. My self-esteem is so shot,
No.
and all that. He be just be dogging me out. But go ahead.
Only because I'm a student of my leader and my pastor.
That's it. Okay. All right. I got you.
But
Okay.
again,
Don't leave me hanging. All right. Okay. We sanitize our
I was
hands.
gonna say COVID.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But again, thank you guys for your Let's Talk About It.
Mm-hmm.
And TIL Nation, again, we hope you enjoyed this. We hope you get something out of this.
Yes.
And this is our last segment of Let's Talk About It of the year 2020. So we will see you guys in 2021. Here comes the church.
Here come church. Peace out. Bye-bye.
Bye.